Israel's win on Saturday really got me thinking about the race for male fighter of the year. Because last year around this time, Daniel Cormier was about to fight Derek Lewis at Madison Square Garden. And that was like, I think most people thought he was going to win that fight. And most people thought if he wins that fight, he'll be fighter of the year. Like, there wasn't a lot. I don't think any outlet picked someone not named Daniel Cormier for fighter of the year. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure all the major ones picked him. This year, you've got a really tough choice for fighter of the year. And with him winning on Saturday, and with Jorge Masvidal about to fight Nate Diaz on November 2nd, it got me thinking about this race. So I want to quickly break this down, because I think this is a fascinating race and probably one of the closest ones that we've seen in recent history. So I've boiled it down to 3 candidates at this point. Number 1, Israel Adesanya. There he is. All right, so this is the record in 2019, 3-0. We know about the win in February over Anderson Silva. That was huge. We know about the win over Kelvin Gastelum in April. Also of note, that was, in my opinion, the fight of the year. So I think that adds to the resume as well. And then you know what happened against Robert Whittaker on Saturday. Tied for second most post-fight bonuses through his first 7 fights. 6. Of course, that doesn't include this year as well. But he has to be at the top of the list. I don't think anyone... You can make a case right now he's the front runner. But in addition to Mr. Adesanya, you have this man, Henry Cejudo, who I don't think will get a lot of love come December. And I think that's unfortunate, because lest we forget, this man had 2 massive victories this year. The problem is they happened in the first half of the year. And I think that there is a recency bias when it comes to some of these awards. So 2-0 in 2019, had the massive win over TJ Dillashaw in a little over 30 seconds. Defeated the bantamweight champion, who was moving down to 125, who ended up popping, for EPO, and then comes back and defeats Marlon Moraes, who was on some kind of roll in June, to win the bantamweight title. So now he's a 2-division champion at the same time, one of the few in UFC history. But the problem is he's injured now. He's not going to fight again this year, and he's just 2-0. And usually you need that 3rd victory to get you over the hump. And also, it's probably best to fight in the 3rd or 4th quarter to get you over the hump. So Cejudo's out there, and he should be considered. And I think it's somewhat of a crime considering the magnitude of his victories. 125 champion, beating the 135 champion who went down, and then getting the vacant title. But I think because he only fought twice, and because they were in the first half of the year, it's going to hurt him. And then, of course, the 3rd one, we'll see how it plays out on November 2nd. But here's the tough one. If Jorge Masvidal beats Nathan Diaz on November 2nd, you could make a very strong case for him. The Darren Till knockout in March, the fastest knockout in UFC history in July, first loss for Ben Askren, and then a win over Nate Diaz at Madison Square Garden, BMF title, all that stuff. What do you like? Let's just stack them up. Till, Silva, which is more impressive? Knockout over Till, decision win over Silva. Okay, next one. Fight of the year against Gastelum, supremely impressive. 5-second knockout. Askren, which one? And then stopping Whittaker, first loss in 9 fights, or beating Nate Diaz, and we'll see the way in which he beats him. So if he loses to Nate, I think Israel has it locked up. But if Masvidal wins on November 2nd, and we can revisit this on November 4th after that fight, I think we got to really... I don't know who to pick. I really don't. I think you can make a very strong and educated case for all 3 guys. And so I want to do this. I want to ask you, the people. I want to put this on the poll, like Le Batard and friends like to say. We used to do this back in the MMA Hour days. Corporate Jake, put this on my poll right now. As of right now, actually, no. Let's word it like this. If Jorge Masvidal wins on November 2nd, who is your fighter of the year? Is it Israel Adesanya? Is it Jorge Masvidal? Or is it Henry Cejudo? I want to know. And then later in the program, at the end, we'll weigh in and we'll see your poll results. I'm curious to hear what the people are thinking right now. By the way, speaking of tight races, I just want to quickly weigh in on this one. How about Coach of the Year? I know Captain Eric is very into the idea that he should be the guy, and he's had a phenomenal... I mean, look at this record right now for Captain Eric in 2019 as far as Bellator and UFC fighters are concerned. Look at this. 7-1, but let's talk about the magnitude of these victories. Henry Cejudo, his guy, 2-0 in the UFC, beat TJ Dillashaw, like I just said, and then wins the bantamweight title. So you've got a double champ there. Then you've got Patricio Pitbull in Bellator, was the 145 champ, also now wins the lightweight championship against Michael Chandler, and recently successfully defended the 145 title against Juan Archuleta, 2-0 in 2019. His brother, Patricky Pitbull, 1-0 and also fighting in the Ryzen tournament later this year. Paulo Costa with the massive win over Yoel Romero. Leandro Higo, 1-0. Bruno Silva, the lone blemish, but that's a pretty damn good year for coach/captain Ariel Albarracin, who has been campaigning, who really thought that he should have won the award last year. But I got to say, he's got competition. He really does. And is it possible that this man has actually taken the lead? Eugene Bareman of City Kickboxing. Look at this record. 10-0 this year as far as UFC and Bellator fights are concerned. Israel Adesanya, 3-0 in 2019, wins the middleweight title, fight of the year, tremendous. Alex Volkanovski, 1-0 thus far, but again, fighting December 14th in Las Vegas against Max Holloway, could win the featherweight championship. You could have two champions from the same small gym in Auckland, New Zealand. What happens then? Dan Hooker, 2-0, massive win over Ally Quinta in the co-main event on Saturday. Kai Kara France, 2-0, big fight against Brandon Moreno, not Sergio Pettis, by the way, who's now a free agent, on December 14th. Brad Riddell, fight of the night on Saturday, 1-0, and Shane Young, 1-0. 10-0, perfect 10-0. Who do you pick there? Who do you go with there? So, Corporate Jake, in addition to Fighter of the Year, let's do another poll. As of right now, who is your 2019 Coach of the Year? Captain Ariel Albarracin or Eugene Bareman? And, you know, I think one thing that helps Eugene, by the way, is the fact that he's from a team, like a gym, like City Kickboxing. I think fans are sort of, they're drawn to that, a name like that. Captain Ariel doesn't, he has to come up with a team name. I think that's hurting him right now. So I'm very curious. Are you good with that, Corporate Jake? Are you good with two polls?
Yep, both polls are already out.
Oh, any indication who's winning, or too soon?
We'll check it out later.
All right, fine. Hello, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani. I just came here to thank you for watching our ESPN YouTube channel. It's the best. You know what else is the best? The ESPN app. You can get highlights, analysis, all that stuff and more. And if you want premium content and live streaming sports, there's only one place for all of that. It's ESPN Plus.